Hello everyone, you are welcome to today's class. So in this class, we want to continue and we want to conclude on ratio. So in this class, we want to look at increasing or decreasing in a given ratio. So the objectives we want to achieve in this class are this. So number one is we want to look at increasing or decreasing a quantity in a given ratio. How do we do that? Then we look at how to change ratios to fractions and how to change ratios to percentages. So those are the things we want to look at in this video. So when we talk about increasing or decreasing in a given ratio, to increase or to decrease a quantity means we need to multiply the quantity by a what? Multiplying factor. What do we mean by multiplying factor? Let's say for instance you have 40 quantity 40, let's say 40 naira of an item. The price of an item from 40 naira increases to let's say 80 naira, right? So the multiplying factor here will be this, because it is increase. So the increase, so it will be new quantity now. So new quantity or multiplying factor, let's put it multiplying factor. Multiplying factor here will then be 80 divided by what? 40, which will be what? 0 cancel 0, then that is what? 2 over 1. So the multiplying factor will what? Will be 2. That is, this 2, if you multiply 2 by 40, it will give us what? 80. You can see it now. So that is how. So if they ask you to increase a quantity in a given by a particular ratio, so we'll now see how to do that. Let's look at examples on how that works. So multiplying factor is the old quantity. Let me give you the formula. Multiplying factor. So multiplying factor is old quantity divided by new quantity. So that gives us what? The multiplying factor. I hope this is clear. So let's look at examples on this. All right, these examples on how to increase a quantity and decrease a quantity in a given ratio. As you can see on the board, you're asked to increase 250 kilometers and in the ratio 7 to 5. Now, one thing I want you to take note of, in the ratio, if you look at the ratio here, you notice that the first value we have there is bigger than the second value. That is increase. If you look at this one, the first value here is what? Is less than the what? The second value, which is what? Decrease. That is, we are decreasing it with this ratio and also increasing with this ratio. So in that case, so the multiplying factor will be the what? The ratio. I believe I'm making it. The ratio will be the multiplying factor. Excuse me. So let's look at the solutions to this. Solutions. So the first one we have increase. So new distance, because this is kilometer is distance. So new distance now. New distance. You know, I said earlier on that to increase or to decrease a quantity by a given ratio means that you should multiply that quantity by what? Multiplying factors, right? So multiplying factors refers to the ratio there. So the new distance will then be 250 multiplied by the multiplying factor here will be what? 7 divided by what? 5. Exactly. So that means this is the multiplying factor, that is the ratio, that is fraction. In the fraction, from the beginning of this topic, we talk about ratio as simple as fraction. 7 over 5. So 5 here, 1. 5 here, that is what? 50. So 50 times 7, that gives us 350 kilometers. You can see the value we got here is more than the initial value. This is the new kilometer, this is the old kilometer. So if we want to take this one back to ratio, instead we're going to get the same thing, we're going to get this ratio. We have that is 250 now the new one, that is 350 divided by 250. 0 cancels 0. Then 5 here 7, 5 here what? 5. You can see multiplying factor. We'll come back to the initial. So the second one which is decrease. We want to reduce it. So new distance in this case, new distance in this case will then be 250 multiplied by 2 over 5. So the same thing, 5-year 1, 5-year what? 50. So this gives us 100 kilometers. So we have reduced the what? These 250 kilometers and this given ratio now. Our answer is what? The new distance will then be what? 100 kilometers. At least we'll be able to what? Explain this and solve questions on increasing or decreasing the points in a given what? Ratio. So let's now look at how to change ratios to what? Fractions. That's the next thing. Okay, we want to learn how to change ratios to fractions in this aspect. So we are going to do that with these examples. In a class, the ratio of boys to girls, the ratio of boys to girls is 4 to 3. So what that implies is that boys ask for and girls ask for 3. So the question now is, what fraction of the class are what? Boys. What fraction of the class are boys? And second, what fraction of the class are girls? So to solve this, the first thing we need to do for A, the first thing we need to do is to add the ratio. So sum of ratio now will be what? 4 plus what? 3. That is what? 7. Now, A, fraction of boys. Fraction of what? Boys. So the boys are 4 out of, because what this is telling us is this. The class has been divided into 7 parts. So the addition of the ratios is telling us that the class, when you have like we have, let's say, 21 students in the class, we now divide them into groups of 7. That's what this ratio is telling us. Is that clear? So what would then be the fraction of the boys, right? So if the boys take 4 out of 7 division, the boys take 4. So that means fraction of boys here will then be what? 4 out of what? 7. Simple. That's how to do it. Then for B, what fraction of the class are girls? Out of the 7 divisions the class has been divided into. So girls are taking 3 parts. So that means fraction of girls now, fraction of girls in the class will be what? 3 out of 7. So that's how to convert ratio to what? Fraction. We'll be able to do that, convert the fraction to what? Ratio. So the first step is that add the ratios together. Then determine which ratio is talking about one item and which ratio is talking about the second item. Then find their fraction as I've done here. I hope this is very clear. So the next part is how to change it to what? Percentage. Then we look at a question that will cover that. Alright, so in this example 2, this one is trying to see how can we change ratio to what? Percentage. It's very simple, it's just straightforward. We want to change this ratio 3 to 5 to percentage. So what you are expected to do here, so the ratio, you write it as fraction. Don't forget that ratio is simple as fraction. It's like changing fraction to percentage. What do we do when you are changing fraction to percentage? You just multiply by 100. The same thing with ratio. So the first thing we're going to do is change this ratio to fraction, 3 over 5. Then multiply by what? 100. You have changed it to what? Percentage. That's percent. So that means 5-year 1, 5-year what? 20. 20 times 3 gives us what? 60. This will be 60%. So which means that ratio 3 to 5 is what? 60 what? Percent. I hope this is very clear to you. So that is that on this. So the next one is, let's look at another example that will cover everything. Okay, we want to look at this example as final examples for this class. So the population of a country is estimated to be 6 million. So estimated to be what? 6 million people, right? So the last survey reveals that 40% were boys, 30% were girls, 10% men, 20% women. So the question now is, we have to express each category as a fraction, as a ratio. Express the composition in ratio and evaluate the estimated number of each people in each category. So what we're going to do now? So we're going to have 40% to 30% to 10% to 20%. So what we're going to do, the percentage will be cancelled. This cancel, this cancel, this cancel, this cancel, this. Then 0 cancels 0, cancels 0, cancels 0, cancels 0. So which means as ratio we have 4 ratio 3 ratio 1 ratio what? 2. So which means 4 will be for boys, 3 will be for girls, 1 will be for men, and 2 will be for what? For women. So to now know the value of each category now, so we have to do this. So we have boys now, boys. So before that, we add, when you add the fraction, sum of ratio now, sum of ratio here will be what? 4 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2, that gives what? 10, right? That gives 10. So that is boys will be what? Which is 4 out of what? 10 multiplied by 6 million. Right? So we call this, cancel this, right? So 4 times 6, 24. How many zeros do you have left here? 5 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we group, that is 2.4 million were boys. Then girls. We do the same thing for girls. For girls, how many girls? 3. 3 out of 10 multiplied by 6 million. Right? So 0 cancels 0. That is 3 times 6, 18. That is 1.8 million. Then for men, that's 1 over 10 multiplied by 6 million. Right? So 0 cancels 0. That is what? 600,000. So we have 600,000 men in the country. Then women, in this case, women will be what? 2 out of 10 multiplied by 6 million. Right? So that is 0 cancels 0. So this will give us what? 1.2 million. So I hope this is clear. So 2 multiplied by 6, that gives 12. Then we have 5 zeros left. So that's 1.2 million. So that is that on ratio. So that's the end of ratio for this class. So the next stage, we move to the next topic in our next class. So it's better for you go through it, watch it twice. When you get to this bit, watch it again so that you can get the concept clearly. So we'll meet in the next class. So don't forget, if you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, give us a big like, then share the video with your friends and your family. So thank you. We'll meet in the next video.